So I'm going to continue talking about energy. We were talking about perception and how we can train ourselves to feel our own presence, our own awareness, our own participation in the physics of around us. We understand ourselves, we understand how things work. And we're talking about training our mind, and I'm writing a book actually about this whole subject. I have a number of quite a few hours of videotape and some diagrams and a lot of notes. It's very, very complicated, but we're talking mainly in the beginning about trying to perceive energy. Because before we want to study all the details, and I know I've been around big college physics books and they're really fat, and you just take a look at them and go, oh my God, look at that, I mean, how am I ever going to understand that stuff? But I'm trying to look at energy, first of all, to prepare ourselves to really kind of understand what we're trying to study here, because we are energy. We're studying, whatever we learn about energy through our experiments, we're going to learn something about ourselves. When we understand something about ourselves, human beings have to be very incredible, because think about it. I mean, there's just amazing technology here in our own life. And this technology that we have, we're able to create all kinds of amazing other technology. So to understand ourselves is where we start. Understand our physical, our electrical, our heat, our inner energies. And then I have to make a point about stillness, because see, energy is really a vibration. I mean, there's all kinds of waves out there in the universe. There's waves that are happening right now in your body. Periods, cycles. This is the thing about energy. We learn that there's a cycle, various kinds of cycles, pulses, sometimes irregular, sometimes very regular. Those cycles, those waves carry information. They carry information. Light carries information. Sound carries information. The shapes of waves are a reflection of the type of information, or what specific information that the wave is carrying. It comes in a shape. And I know a lot of people have seen oscilloscope tracings, and you'll see a wave, like a nice little tracing. But what isn't often realized, that in reality, in the world that we live in, waves are transmitting, but they're not just going up and down. There's a three-dimensional aspect to the waves. And the waves carry information, and the waves have some power, and some of them move incredibly fast, like light waves. And all of this stuff is happening so that we can exist. Now you start looking at it. You study energy from the aspect that I'm going to present it. Has to do with learning how to perceive energy in ourselves and around. First, you have to start looking for it. Start understanding, well, okay, heat. The light that comes from the sun is an energy. It's a kind of a beam. There's many things we can't see, but they're there. But you can start to feel for them. Close your eyes sometimes and go outside and listen. Listen to all the different sounds. And then try to feel heat, warmth, sunlight, wind, breezes. Try to feel your presence in this incredible panorama of interlocking and interacting energies that you're in, that you're immersed in. Like when you're in an ocean, you can feel all the waves and you can feel all things, the currents that are going on in there. In our day-to-day life, as we go through our day, there are subtle currents that if we slow down, we'll see, we'll feel. And it has to do with slowing down. So I was talking about stillness. That in the waves, you have to start from a point of zero, or at least theoretically. You say, okay, there's zero. Because any wave, any movement is defined in relation to a point of zero. You say, well, the vector went up this far, with this much power, at this speed. It's all in relation to that 0 point. And every wave, you come down, you cross, and you go, it goes back up. Every wave has a cycle. You have the cycle, you have duality. You have movement, you have duality, you have cycles. Energy works in cycles. The whole universe works in cycles. There's something about nature, the physical world that we live in, that depends, it wouldn't exist without rotations, cycles, movements, waves. So these basic things to understand about energy, because there's many kinds of waves. There's sound waves, and there's all kinds of different waves, things that we can't perceive. But you can feel a wave. In one way, maybe we can't perceive directly, but we can see the results of light. But there's a lot of things that we can't see, infrared maybe. But we might be able to resonate inside ourselves with a harmonic of another frequency. So we'll talk more about it, and this is another huge subject in energy, is resonance. How waves interact, how they can interact in a positive way, and when something resonates, it produces an incredible, peak of energy. And resonation, things that resonate can hold together. Resonance is a way of holding something together. And if it's brought up to a high enough point, it can actually shatter something. But again, getting back to starting where you feel a stillness. To feel a stillness. Because the type of meditation where thinking stops for a while. In other words, the type of mental activity that we often feel when we're all excited and we're thinking and we're trying to solve a problem and we're comparing and contrasting and so on, deciding. Part of consciousness that already exists, that you go and experience something that is a steady state of consciousness, of direct perception, of intuition. And that comes from the silence, from the inner quiet.